What is up? It's AboveUp, and we're gonna play Crypt of the Necrodancer. Now, before we get into this one, there's a couple of differences between usual videos that I do in Beyond Dead, and this one in particular. See, the thing is, I cannot play this game while commentating on it. I've tried. I originally tried it once in a stream, and I just simply couldn't. I kept messing my beats. It's just not doable for me. And I tried it again, recording it, and, well, I'm going to have to record over the footage after I play. This is the only part where I will be talking live over the game, so there's some other things that I might as well deviate with before we get into it. So before everything, let's just kind of go over it. This is a rhythm roguelike. It's very, very good. I think this is one of the most well-known games that I've covered in this series so far. It kind of started the permanent upgrade system that you see in a lot of other games. I actually quite like how this introduces it, because it's like, yeah, you can get your permanent upgrades and they'll count if you go zone by zone by zone, but they won't count if you go into all zones mode. All zones mode just has everything unlocked. You also have less max health, and it's basically the more pure form. It's more the traditional roguelike way. Well, this is like the modern roguelite permanent progression bullshit that can just fuck off, honestly. I kind of just stopped caring about that. I collected it somewhat, practicing zones, and then I stopped caring and just went all zones. There's another part that I think is pretty cool. Well, this not so much. But I do like this, where you can remove items from the pool. So those won't appear anymore. So if you don't like an item, you can remove it. That's pretty cool for people who get really impatient because they don't like things that are randomly thrown in their path. I don't really care. One thing that I do appreciate is that you can practice all the weapons in the game. You can practice against all the enemies. And on this side, all the way over here, you can practice against all the bosses. That is pretty fucking cool. There's also, they present all the help in lore, which is kind of neat, I guess. The other thing that's really neat is that you can basically create mods very easily through the workshop. You can edit sprites. It's incredibly simple to do. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to turn on the Ellen Page mod that I made just for this. Anyway, I'm going to go play all zones. If I die in all zones, I'll just continue on from the next zone using the zone select, just to kind of keep the momentum going and do this in one video. But otherwise, yeah, let's get started. So yeah, the cool thing with this game is, as you can see, you have your rhythm at the bottom of the screen. Every time the rhythm kind of moves in beats, every beat is a turn, so you kind of don't have moments where you can think for yourself, which puts a lot of pressure on you. It's a very cool system. I kind of wish more games kind of thought about this sort of turn-based systems, turning it into real time through mechanics like this. It's the kind of surprising to see like a dark skeleton this early. I usually don't see him that early on. Also, you get a multiplier for your money if you stick to the beat properly, which I just lost, so yeah. And there's the boss of the floor. He's kind of easy, he rushes forward and then breaks a wall, flips over, and then you can hit him. Monkeys are annoying because they grab you and then you can't move for several turns, so you're just kind of stuck. And I kind of fucked that barrel up. I can't put it in front of the bomb now. But this is one of those games that when it was announced, the first thought I had was why hasn't anyone done this before? It is such a sort of natural way of looking at the roguelite genre. But somehow, this was the first game that did it. And I bought it during early access, so I still remember a lot of the changes in updates. A few of the updates were actually pretty bad in my recollection. Although they weren't absolutely terrible. I didn't hate them that much. Not until Zone 4 came out. I despise Zone 4, and I think it's really bad. I think the music is bad too. And I think these bats are really bad too. This music gimmick is pretty cool. You have a slowdown button and you have like a speed up button, and it actually changes the speed of the music. You can also like edit out the music, not through mods, but the game just allows you to change the set list. But the original music is by Danny Baranowski, and he makes fantastic game music, so I never really had the need to do that. Yeah, a lot of this game is about positioning and making sure that you have time to think for yourself and not like get cornered or pressured into something stupid. That's actually a lot harder than it sounds. I think a lot of people who play it for the first time like immediately learn, oh shit, you can really fuck yourself by moving too fast. Which is kind of funny because, you know, you're set to a rhythm. You have to move at a certain speed, but you can still like rush into something way faster than you're comfortable with. Which is another thing, like with the speed down stuff, it actually changes the rhythm of the song and the beats, so you can fuck up your rhythm with that and just miss turns while in combat or other situations. Longswords are cool. They hit in a diagonal line. I just threw my dagger. That's a thing you can do. I often forget that that exists. But it exists, and it's actually really useful if you don't forget about it. Also, this weapon is gold, which means that it also powers up after you pick up money. Also, the dragon fires if you are like in a straight line from it, diagonally, not horizontally. And these are enemies you rarely ever see, the really, really large versions of normal enemies. So what's in here? It's nothing of real value. Let's go. I'm actually really happy with how this Ellen Page sprite worked. And that was a mistake. I didn't mean to use my item, but I was indecisive between going left and going up, and I accidentally pressed both. Backpacks are useful because they let you like carry 2 items instead of 1. Spells I pick up and then I usually just forget that I have them. It's a terrible habit, I know, but I don't really care for spells. So yeah, let's get the fuck out of this floor. This is usually the first floor where I actually really like the rhythm. Usually the first game that I play, I trip up on the first floor because the rhythm is slower than I'm anticipating, and I just completely lose it because of that. And then when I'm used to like later floors, I go back to floor 1 again, and the same thing again. God, I love the shopkeeper so much. Like, he's precious. He's perfect. So yeah, this weapon, the flail, it's got a really stupidly wide area of effect. Like everything that sprite is touching when attacking, that's actually where it hits. Which can actually be a problem when you get to like Zone 2. Zone 2, you have these mushrooms that are useless, but they can kind of block your path if you try to move in a direction, and you know there's just a fucking mushroom diagonally right there, and it's stopping you from moving because you hadn't considered it. But you know, we're not there yet. We'll get there. So far, this run is really going good though. And also, this music is fucking fantastic, so it's got that going for it too. Lots of healing items too, because I'm playing like shit. I'm fucking up a lot, but at the very least, I'm getting the healing items I need to like trivialize that. Any run where you can trivialize your own mistakes is a good run. I'm not a big fan of this boss fight, or, well, most boss fights in general. Like, I think their idea is cool,
but I don't really like the music, and it's kind of irritating to me, so I tend to fuck up because I'm just annoyed by the music. It's a personal thing though, like I don't think it's bad design or anything, it's just not doing it for me.
Dad was all.
And if you want to see the cutscenes, play the game yourself, because I'm not gonna spoil anything. And those are the mushrooms that I mentioned earlier, like they really get in the way. Also, this weapon completely trivializes a lot of bosses, which is fucking great. Like, it's hilarious how much you can just bully them around. It's another one down. Armadillos are pretty cool enemies. Like, I like them. Though, I'm kind of fucking up their movement with this weapon right now. Yeah, they roll forward and you can hit them to change their direction. They'll break blocks that you usually need bombs to break, so that's really fucking cool too. Those mushrooms might seem like really dumb with how they take really long to attack before doing anything, but they kind of become a problem when you take them into consideration alongside the wizards who pull you in. Oh god. And there's a big mushroom. Wow. I've actually never seen one before. Also, I can see the shining thing in the corner right there. So let's collect that. If you play this game on like the zone mode, where you play per zone, that's where you find diamonds for permanent upgrades. If you play in hardcore mode, well, upgrades don't matter, so hey, you get money to make your run easier. It's interesting because also you can kill the shopkeeper if you want, just throwing that out there. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try and play safe because, you know, this is all zones mode. The thing that is pretty interesting about that is you get more pressure on you because if you die, then, you know, you lost all the progress from zone 1-1. But at the same time, a lot of zones become easier because you go into it like with this great weapon and all this extra health and armor and these spells and items, all this money to spend on the shop. It's interesting to see all this. Also, the Boots of Leaping are fucking awful. I previously tried recording this game and I lost a run really badly after I picked that up early. So hey, yeah, fuck off with that shit. Basically, if you move forward, you like leap over the first square every single time, and it's annoying. That's why it's so cheap in the store. But I didn't know what it was, so it was like, alright, I'll try this. Yeah, it's very easy to understate just how good this game just feels to play in general, because, you know, you get into the rhythm, so you're really into it, and then there's all these really different mechanics that are just, you know, working at the same time. All the different enemies, all the different attack types. It's a very fun game to play. It works very well in short bursts too, which is important for, you know, this kind of arcadey, fast-paced title. And because it has that hardcore mode, there's still this element of pure skill being needed above unlocking shit. But if you're impatient and you don't like the concept of pure skill being needed, then you can still do the unlocking style. I kind of wish more games would have like this sort of change up between the two. Like, give both groups of players the thing that they want. And then in the meantime, you get these... Yeah, let's not do glass. Glass breaks if you get hit once. And I'm playing like shit, so that's not an option today. But yeah, the hardcore audience for this game, they do challenges where they just play through the entire fucking thing with only the starting dagger. It's fucking wild. If you haven't seen that shit, just look it up. It's not hard to find. But it is really cool to see someone like style over a rhythm game. you know, in that way, because it really just becomes a pure rhythm game. And I died because I'm an idiot. One cool thing with this game is you can look at a replay in case you're going like, wait, what? Because you get tunnel vision like crazy in this game. And yeah, I stayed too close to the wizard because I thought I would kill him in one hit, but I didn't. So let's go to Zone 3, which is my favorite zone in the game. It's Freeze Flame Galaxy from Mario Sunshine. Or not Sunshine, fuck, I'm an idiot. Galaxy. I hate Sunshine. I love Galaxy. Why would I make this mistake? Like, I like that enemy where you hit them and then they just immediately teleport behind you, go nothing personal kit, and then you hit them again. It's very easy to forget that they teleport behind you and then you just get hit. So yeah, now we have no gear. We quickly have to make our gear before really getting into it. Also, that guy, if you move towards him, he will move away. And if you move away, he will move towards you. So he tries to backstab you. That square thing, it basically tries to push you into walls or into other enemies to hurt you. Now what's cool about this zone is that it has two music tracks that are overlaid on top of each other, so they switch out depending on if you're in the cold or in the hot region, and that is just such a cool trick. Like, I am a sucker for dynamic music like that. I fucking love Platinum's games, I love Nier Automata, I love Skies of Arcadia for doing that. Also, the lava on the floor, if you step on that, it's totally fine, but you can't stay on that square for longer than one turn. So if you stay on that, like if you move a beat, if you miss a beat, you're hit. If you stay on that attacking an enemy, you're hit. So I can't push that right now because lava. Then on the flip side, the cool side has the ice path. It basically makes you slide. And that's it. That's all it does. It's not that terrible. Yeah, let's go. This area pretty much has like all my favorite tracks as well. Danny Baranowski really hit it out of the park with this game. I think this is one of his best soundtracks by far. It's a shame that he no longer works with Team Meat, Edmund in general, but man, the music in this game is so good that I can't even really be mad about it. And I made the mistake there, and I made another mistake there. Positioning is a bitch in this game sometimes. And sometimes the best thing to do is to just make space for a bit and recollect your thoughts before going back into it. Because again, you don't have any moment to like pause and think about what you're doing. I mean, you can pause the game, but the game structure itself isn't really focused on letting you pause. With that and pausing the game, a lot of times you unpause and then you miss the next beat because you're out of the rhythm. It brings this other risk to it. Also, I switched to the rapier because that's kind of my favorite weapon. Basically, it does damage as you step in, and that damage is higher than just a regular jab from close up. It's so good. More healing items, that's nice. More healing, wow, cool. And those are the permanent upgrade diamonds. And that was a mistake. I'm an idiot. So yeah, now we have 9 diamonds that we can spend on permanent upgrades or buy items to start with in the next run. And that was the power of the rapier. That thing is so good. Fuck, this area is busy as hell. And that was a mistake. That got me hit twice. The lava is especially harsh because it pressures you to keep moving. You have to keep going forward and especially cannot miss a beat then. And it's funny because missing a beat isn't even that big a deal. It doesn't happen all that often, but once you get that extra pressure, it still gnaws on you in a way. At least I find it to be that way. And he hits me, and oh boy, now I get confused and the dragon kills me. I did really bad there. But I showed off the area, so we can move on to Zone 4. So when I bought this game, Zone 4 didn't exist, and it got patched in later, and I hate it. Like, I think that this game kind of goes too far with the complexity. That enemy teleports you if you kill, teleports you on its spot when you kill it. That enemy parries you and you have to sidestep and then hit him again. Also, you have to traverse through stuff by digging through walls, which I'm not too fond of. A lot of enemies move diagonally here. These bats aren't moving in the same rhythm from each other. They do that on every other floor, but not here, because who knows why. Oh boy. Ah, I fucked that up. And I forgot that that enemy does that thing. So that enemy, after you hit it, it makes the block that you hit him on green, and if you move on that block, you grow small. And while you're small, you cannot attack, so you have to move out of it and wait for the effect to go away every single time you attack him. But yeah, I am just not a fan of this entire area. I don't like the music in it either, and I think that is the biggest problem. Like, I would have less problems with this area existing if the music was as consistently good as the rest of the game, but I'm just not feeling it. Like, everything about it just has this feeling that it really did get added later, and that enemy drops a bomb that I forgot about. And there, for some reason, that guy didn't move the way he usually does. I don't even know why or really care. That was fucking great. There we go, finally. And that enemy attacks diagonally, because of course he does. That's how this should go. Like, I really just don't like this area. I hate to be negative about especially this game, because I like almost everything about this game, but just this one area is just no. So yeah, that's that. That's enough of this, honestly. But yeah, this is Crypt of the Necrodancer. I like this game except for the last area. But despite that, I'd still heartily recommend it because it's such a fucking great game. You can get a lot of playtime out of it, even if you hate the last area. Also, you can get this Ellen Page thing. I put it on Steam on the workshop. You can download it if you want to play as Ellen Page. Anyway, this was AboveUp, and I will see ya.